We're both a bit grumpy today, and we watched Star Trek Voyager X Post Facto, which did not help my mood, I must say.
No, it was a bit of a... Well, basically the episode's a murder mystery episode, which is just...
It opens with Tom Paris killing someone.
In black and white.
Yeah, we see it from a first-person point of view, and there's writing along the bottom of the stuff.
You know what? I think that might be the first-person point of view I've ever seen in a television show, to be honest. I may have just jumped out of camera, but still. I think that might have been. Like, as early as that? Was there anything before?
Did you see the Doom movie?
Yeah, but
Did you watch Halo?
Yeah, but no. I'm talking like chronologically when the show came out. I think that may have been the first time. Like, obviously, it's happened in other things. It's Hardcore Henry.
Doctor Who had it a lot. I don't know. There's a lot of old shows that would use it for, like, Monster Vision.
Yeah?
So, like, Buffy did it as well.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
So Tom Paris is arrested, and then by the punishment for this arrestment is that he has to relive that murder every 14 hours.
Is it 14 or 48?
14.
It's 14
Yeah.
hours.
Which is annoying because it's an odd number that wouldn't fit into one day. So some days you get 2, some days you get 1. It just bugs me.
Yeah. No, some days he would get 3, wouldn't he? He would always get 2.
Yeah,
He would get a minimum 2.
I don't know. But they spend... So Harry gets sent back. For some reason he's dehydrated because they tortured him for information on what was going on.
Yeah.
Harry pretty much says that Tom was being a man whore.
Which Tom is. Like, that's just his character.
Well, he was flirting with this girl.
I love him for being like man whore. Don't you?
Really?
No, you don't love him for being
very
a man
unprofessional if you're on a away team on the planet.
But he's not a normal Starfleet officer.
I don't care.
He is a inmate that was made a Starfleet officer.
Interestingly enough, we get Neelix being useful again.
I told you, he's great.
Yeah, he's telling them about the other species, whatever they're called. These are the Barine or something, or the Barai?
The Barine.
I don't know what, but they
sound very close to the Dean.
Breen.
Yeah, they sound very close to it.
But so Neelix is giving them all the information, saying one of them is very, very paranoid, the other one's very, very normal. I'm gathering he implies because he doesn't say anything about them. Janeway's going to him for this advice. Yeah. But he doesn't give her enough advice to actually help her.
No, he just basically says, I just don't go near them.
Like, she wants to know their cultural information, and then a red alert goes off and she leaves.
Yeah, well, basically he turns around and says, well, every time they've came near me, I've gone the fuck out of there.
Yeah, it's like, okay, good job, Neelix. A+.
Yeah, well, it's Neelix. He's telling the truth. It's just how he is.
So, anyway, Tuvok is put on the case.
Tuvok
on the case. It's the first time we see Tuvok working a murder investigation.
He turns into Shaft so quick.
Yeah, well, so he dispassionate is what he calls himself and his people.
Yeah.
And he interviews the wife, and there's a dog in the situation, and there's like he sort of interviews them, and he doesn't really get much from them.
No, it's like there's no twists or turns really. It just comes to this point where where Tuvok basically turns around and says, I know the answer. Yeah,
well, he mind melds with Tom, and he sees what Tom sees. And he notices the little numbers at the bottom, which aren't meant to be there. He notices the height of the people, the wife and the murderer. And great, it's a mind meld.
Let's talk about his key piece of evidence, though.
No, let's talk about the fact that they, like, using a mind meld as evidence shouldn't be used as evidence.
No, but that wasn't his key piece of evidence.
His key piece of evidence was...
a dog.
The dog. Number one, they call it a dog. Number two, it's a chihuahua or something.
No, it's not. It's a Shih Tzu.
It's fucking
small. It's like an Australian Terrier Shih Tzu.
But it's
an ugly ass dog.
So not only is this alien race calling this a dog, this dog is barely a dog.
Do you want to know a fun fact about me? I had that exact dog when I first watched the show.
Explains a lot.
His name was Muttley. He was great. He could climb trees, and he stole chocolate quite often.
And what did he die from?
Old age.
Oh, not climbing trees or eating chocolate?
No, he died at the ripe age of 17.
So, anyways, off from the life storiness of this. So yeah, they're giving some evidence is the dog, which is sketchy to me. Like, it seems really sketchy. Tom Paris says he denies it the whole way through. I get that. I get Janeway supporting him through that. I get Tuvok, like, working the information. I don't get why a mind meld was used because it's not real evidence. Like, it was sort of like a half-baked investigation in general.
Yeah, it was... Yeah, I think it was just to fit within the time constraints of the episode. I feel like that the writers would have written a hell of a lot more, but it would have had to be in a double episode, and they didn't want to do a double episode.
So I want to talk about the Belians, or whatever the hell they are. They got feather hats. I don't know whether they're feather hats or they actually have feathers on their head, but also hair. Like,
it's mixed in, eh?
But it's one of those situations again where they're mostly human. It's just like...
Yeah, but that's going back to the proto-species, isn't it? The species that created everything? It goes into Discovery?
It does, but this is...
No, one episode of Enterprise that
they didn't create all species. It's really odd to me that... And once again, I think I said it in one of the last episodes, you're going for a new Star Trek show. You're going to make people excited. And what we get is people with bird hats and a murder investigation.
Yeah.
Like,
it's all right. I feel like that later on in the series that they'll fix that.
No. Look, Voyager gets better later on, but it's certainly a case of, like, first season not knowing quite what to do.
Again, like, I truly believe that because at the time, this Deep Space Nine was out. Deep Space Nine wasn't doing great.
Deep Space Nine was always doing solid. Like, I'd say Deep Space Nine was just harder to follow.
Well, we watched that documentary and that depicted it not doing great.
The ratings went down. They always do.
Yeah, but I feel like that Voyager was a safe option and they were trying to do safe moves the whole time so they could capture the market of the TOS era people and then also the next-gen people.
And to me, that is where Star Trek dies, when you try and be safe.
Yeah, and that's what they were doing.
They literally... They did the same with Enterprise. The only time they started to rattle things around in Enterprise is when the show was virtually dead. With Voyager, they never rattled things around. They were so afraid of losing whatever.
I feel like Enterprise had it bad anyway because they had that fucking theme song that everyone... whoever fucking watched that show back in the day, if you heard that theme song, you're not thinking Star Trek, you think this is boring, dull, fucking mystery bullshit that I don't want to watch about faith.
I did not mind the theme song.
But it wasn't.
Yeah, but it's not what I would have preferred.
It was terrible.
But in terms of Voyager, like, out of all of the TNG era shows, TNG obviously set up that dynamic. Deep Space Nine took that, spun it on its head. When they were losing ratings, instead of sort of reverting back to what was safe, they went full into what was fucking crazy. And Voyager went, oh no, we're just going to do TNG. Like, literally the 7th season of TNG is what it feels like.
Yeah, well, they're just trying to capture that market. And like, I get it.
And I get why Voyager's hugely popular for that. But at the same time, like, Janeway's brilliant in this episode. Kate Mulgrew stands out. She's always...
Right when they figure it all out and Tuvok reveals all his evidence, that smirk that she has. Yeah, like that smug smirk was so great.
But also when she takes command, she takes command. And that's what I really like about Janeway. As a captain, she's quite intriguing. And also the fact that she pretty much threatens to kill... Who did she threaten to kill? There was someone I don't remember what thinking about.
No, she was going to blow up a enemy space... a spaceship of the enemy that was like a battle cruiser or something that was trying to get the shuttle.
Oh, yes, when they were trying to find out whether that was another piece of evidence. They wanted Tom, this other alien space they were at war at. So they beamed Tom and Harry out, and then she just threatens to blow up the ship with the shuttlecraft unless they release it.
Another thing about that other alien species, apparently they're related to the species of...
No, they lived on the same planet.
Yeah, no, they're the same people.
No,
that's how Neelix described it. You look at them, they're completely different. No, Neelix described it that way. Neelix is God.
Coexisted on the same planet. They weren't the same people.
Yeah, but they were like they were the same offshoot. Like, why don't they look similar?
Because they coexisted on the same planet, but
that wasn't how it was.
That is. I will put the clip up here.
The Lemurian and the Benay are quite different from one another, even even though they once coexisted on the same planet.
And then we just tell him he was wrong in the comments.
Prove me right.
Prove him wrong.
You'll prove me right.
I overall, like, it's an okay episode. It's like a throwaway episode. I don't remember this episode existing until we put it on. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this.
I like it. I don't mind it as an episode. I think it's not a bad episode, that's for sure.
It's not bad. It's just not anything special.
It's not. What was it? I think there was the episode where episode 3. I think it was third episode in where they go back in time, but only by like 48 hours or something to stop a thing, and then they find out that a nuclear detonation or whatever, and they find out that they were the cause of that nuclear detonation.
Oh, where they go to
It's a lot better than that episode.
I actually like that episode. I'm pretty sure you said you liked that episode at the time.
Sure, it was mad. What kind of aliens did they have in that episode?
Always humanoid.
No, it wasn't just humanoid. It was human.
Do you know how much like orgasmed later when there was like proper aliens?
It will happen.
I'm not talking.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. It's in the future.
But yeah, so overall, a solid episode, but nothing special. And the dog thing was so stupid. Like, so.
What's that? A dog.
Oh, the dog likes you. You must have committed murder.
Yeah.
Is there any other thoughts you have on this episode?
I don't think it's a bad episode. I don't think it's a necessary episode to watch. Maybe in the fact that it's the first time that they use the mind meld, and it's also stressed by the Doctor not to fucking do it. But Tuvok's like, nah, I'm doing it.
Well, no, the mind meld's risky. It's because of the brain technology. But the mind meld over this course of Star Trek went from being something they rarely did because it was dangerous to something all of them did at all times.
Voyager started it.
Voyager used mind melds all the time.
Yeah, oh my god. Tuvok's going to go.
The original series did it a couple of times. I think TNG did it a couple of times.
I think it only did it once with Sarek.
No,
Picard,
Spock
Sarek.
And Picard, Sarek,
Oh, really?
Picard. Yeah.
I didn't know Spock would do that.
I want to give you the option to be closer to your father through me, and then he mind meld.
Oh, really?
Yes. In unification, fucking
I
hell.
avoid that episode. I have to be honest because I get too
Do you know what it
involved
is?
in it.
He watches episodes. Watches? So he puts it on to fall asleep. So he doesn't watch the end half of the episodes. He watches the first 10 minutes.
No, what happens is that I skip certain episodes that I know I'll get over enthralled with.
He is not
Unification.
a Star Trek fan.
Unification is one of those episodes that I get over enthralled with.
He won't watch Star Trek Prodigy.
I didn't say I wouldn't watch
He
it.
doesn't want to. It's too kiddie, is what I was told yesterday. I said, no,
It's not my thing.
No, it's not.
I don't like the art style.
The
I'm
second
sorry.
season is some of the best Star
I'm
Trek
sure
ever.
the story is really good. I just knocked the fucking table that you told me not to.
I don't care.
You do.
But honestly, the art style is fine. It's no worse than the Clone Wars, which were meant to be based on marionettes.
Clone Wars is so good.
The Clone Wars is good, but
So good.
Prodigy's
I grew up with the Clone Wars though. That's different.
always different.
It's different.
It's the
I
same
grew up with that
reason
shit.
people think that Voyager was a fantastic show. Nostalgia goggles, because then we get episodes like this.
It wasn't a bad
No,
episode.
it wasn't bad. But there's once
It's far worse.
Every episode of Voyager, I think it's because there's so many. There's bits that I like,
Yeah.
like Catherine Janeway's the way she commands, or Neelix being used a certain way, or Tuvok doing a certain thing. Like I like elements of the episode, but the overall stories aren't huge.
No, they're not. Did they use any photon torpedoes in this episode?
No, I think they use phasers.
Yeah, no, good. I don't add that to the counter. They've only
Really
used
big
one.
explosions in space, though.
Yeah.
Like when they're like when they're shooting. Also, I'm pretty sure the ships they used for that other species were reused models.
Probably. They're probably reconfigured or bit boxed.
Very much. It's and also the matte painting they used for the planet is one I've seen reused like 30 million
Yeah,
times.
they would have just changed it slightly.
Well, they added a building in front. It's just one of those things where
It's a cheap show.
It's
a very cheap show.
Well,
like production scale, I'm assuming that they reused a hell of a lot.
well, it is so Star Trek Voyager was the first Star Trek show since the original series to be on a network.
Yeah.
So it launched a channel called UPN,
Yeah.
which is now the CW. But it was essentially Star Trek Voyager was to UPN what Discovery was to Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
They used Star Trek to boost their services or their viewership.
Yeah. But I don't think it was bad.
It's not a bad choice, but I just think I think this episode, once again, first season, go for bigger strides to hook your audience.
Yeah. I feel like they should have made a bit more risks. Maybe even a slight, maybe a couple of double episodes.
Maybe Paris did kill the guy.
Maybe.
That'd be a really good spin later on, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, they tried back in season 1. I fucked him up.
Yeah, I killed him. I killed him because, I don't know, I just felt like it.
I was horny, had a boner.
Yeah, needs to use it. It's very Tom Paris.
What did you think of Post Facto Tom Paris getting horniness? I've been TrekTrav, this is Ribbit, and we'll be back next week for a Star Trek Voyager review where we're hopefully in a better mood. And also, hopefully, it's a better episode. I don't remember which one it is. We'll
It's been great, hasn't it?
We'll find out. I just don't check anymore because it's better going into this blind. I'm hoping to find an episode I haven't seen a million times.
Yeah, it's been great. I think the last episode was that. Episode before this one?
What was the episode before this one?
The one without Neelix.
I thought that was a good episode. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.